Do you ever feel like tax forms are written in a secret code?
Now, I know that tax forms can be a bit overwhelming, but don't worry because I'm breaking it all down today. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what a W-9 is, why you need one, and the fastest way to fill it out correctly so that you don't run into tax headaches later. So grab a coffee and let's dive in. At Delightful Digits Bookkeeping, we specialize in helping food and beverage businesses get their financials in order, save time, and feel confident about their numbers. Hey there, food business owners. Whether you run a restaurant, bakery, coffee shop, or even a food truck, chances are that you've been asked to provide a W 9 form at some point. But here's the thing, this isn't just for food businesses. If you own any type of business in the US, whether it's a catering company, a retail shop, or even a freelance gig, you might need a W 9 to get paid properly and stay on top of your taxes. A W-9 form, officially called the Request for Taxpayer Identification Number and Certification, is a simple IRS form that businesses use to provide their taxpayer identification number to another business or individual. In plain English, it's a form that you fill out when someone needs to report payments that they make to you, like a vendor, a supplier, or a freelancer. It doesn't get sent to the IRS, but it's used for tax reporting purposes. For example, let's say a catering client hires your restaurant for an event and pays you more than $600 this year. They may need a W 9 to report that payment on a 1099 NEC form during tax season. Now, you might be wondering, why do I even need to fill out a W 9? Here's why. If you work with other businesses, whether as a vendor, contractor, or supplier, you'll likely need to provide a W 9 so that they can report payments properly. If you get paid over $600 in a year from a client or another business, they may be required to issue you a 1099 NEC, which stands for non employee compensation, or a 1099 miscellaneous. Having a W 9 ready saves time when a business requests it, so you don't have to scramble at the last All right, minute. Now let's get to the good stuff. How do you actually get a W 9 form? Go to the IRS website, the official and safest place to download the form. You can find it at irs.gov. Then you're just going to type in W-9 into the search bar and it'll pop up. Pro tip, always download tax forms directly from the IRS website, never from third-party sites, just to be safe. Once you've downloaded the form, you'll just need to fill it out. The first thing you'll enter is line 1, your name or your business name. And this is where things can get a little tricky because it depends on how your business is taxed. If you're taxed as a sole proprietor, you'll put your legal name on line 1. This includes single member LLCs taxed as a sole proprietor. So if that's you, write your personal name. Not sure how your business is taxed? Check last year's tax return. If you filed your business taxes on a Schedule C, that means you're taxed as a sole proprietor. If you filed a separate tax return, Form 1120S means you're taxed as an S-Corp, and Form 1065 means you're taxed as a partnership. For this example, I'm filling this out for a single member LLC, taxed as a sole proprietor, so I'm going to put the owner's name here. Now, if you have a business name that is different from your personal name, you'll enter that on line 2. But remember, if your business is taxed as a corporation or partnership, you'll enter the business name on line 1 and skip line 2. Next up, we have line 3. Here, you're going to select the federal tax classification that applies to you. Now, this part can be tricky for LLCs, but since I'm filling this out as a single member LLC, taxed as a sole proprietor, I'm going to check the box for individual/sole proprietor. And there is even a little note here to remind you. This next section, line 3B, is only for partnerships or trusts that have foreign owners, partners, or beneficiaries. Most of you will be able to skip this. For line 4, you probably won't need this either. This is where you enter an exempt payee code or exemption from FATCA reporting if this applies to you. For most small businesses and food entrepreneurs, this will not apply. On lines 5 through 7, you'll enter your business address. If your name is on line 1 and you use your personal address for tax purposes, you'll enter that. If you have a separate business address, then you'll enter that instead. Now, for part 1, this is where you will enter your taxpayer identification number. Here's the rule. If you're taxed as a sole proprietor, you'll usually enter your Social Security number, even if you have an EIN for your business. If you have another tax classification, like an S-Corp or partnership, you'll enter your employee identification number here instead. And finally, don't forget to sign and date this form in part 3. This is the part that makes it official, so be sure to complete it before sending it off. This is important. You're going to want to double check all the details because if something is wrong, like your EIN or business name, your client could have trouble reporting payments to the IRS. And that's a headache that nobody wants. Now, this part is super important. Never email your W-9 as an unprotected attachment. Why? Because it contains sensitive information like your EIN or social security number, and you do not want that floating around in unsecured emails. Instead, here's what you can do. You could use a secure document sharing service like Google Drive or Dropbox, or you could use a password protected PDF to send it through email. You could also ask if they have a secure portal where you can upload the form, or you could always mail it. But if you do mail it, send it via certified mail so that you have proof of delivery. Before we wrap up, let's go over a few quick pro tips and mistakes to avoid. Pro tip number 1, keep a saved blank W-9 template on your computer so that you can quickly fill it out anytime a client requests one. Pro tip number 2, if you recently changed your business structure, like from a sole proprietor to an LLC, make sure that your W-9 is updated with the correct business name and EIN. Pro tip number 3, if you're using an EIN instead of your social security number, be sure that it's registered with the IRS correctly. And some common mistakes to avoid. Forgetting to sign the W-9 because this can delay processing. Using an incorrect or outdated tax identification number, or sending it over unsecured email. And that's it. Now you know exactly how to get and fill out a W-9 form for your business. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with other business owners who might need it. And if you've got more bookkeeping questions, drop them in the comments or book a free consultation with us at Delightful Digits.